Hey everyone, welcome to the Horror PSA presented by Scary Nerd, and as always, we are your hosts. I'm Paul.
I'm Saul.
And I'm Angie.
The following is a public service announcement.
A group of old college friends reunite for a trip to a forest in northern Europe, but encounter a menacing presence there stalking them. That's right, we watched the 2017 Netflix original The Ritual.
And these four men got eaten by the Jägermeister monster, right?
Is that what it was?
Okay, it was okay. Let's talk about the monster route, because
Yeah.
I'm like, it was like the Jägermeister elk looking thing, but it had like a weird clitoris face.
Yes, when it stood up too, it looked so much
Yes.
different. And I was like, "What is this?"
It was like, and it moved like a giraffe.
Yes, but then it had glowing vagina
Not
eyes.
just that, though.
Yes, like that's the thing. Okay, that's why I'm like, the way when it had the close up, like, okay, take the arms away, right?
Yeah.
'Cause the freaking arms are creepy as well. So you have the arms, take those away, and then you have those little glowing like man in the boat clitoris eyes.
Yeah.
And I'm like, what the fuck is this monster?
The thing that threw me off is
It's
when
the
one
bastard
of the,
son of Loki, they said.
what was it, Luke, when he was looking out into the wilderness and it was up on the tree. So I'm thinking, okay, maybe it's some sort of big cat fast type predator.
Yeah,
And
when
then-
when the hand moves,
Yeah.
is that what you're talking about? Yeah, I'm like, what the fuck? Like, how could it just hide behind that stupid tree?
Like when it was
Doesn't
doing that,
make
like
sense.
the whole
Yeah.
tree thing, and then when you
Yeah.
fucking finally see it, I'm like, wait, they're being chased by a fucking elk. What the hell is this shit?
Yeah.
And then when
Yes, it's like
and then when you see it like up close, and you see, like you said, you see the hands down bottom, and then the weird body
Clitoris.
shape. Yeah, the weird body shape.
say
that it had.
clitoris.
Clitoris.
You just wanted to solve this.
No,
didn't
he
you?
seemed like he didn't want to say it.
No,
like
it's
he
not.
was like,
It was trying
like
to
he was
describe
weird.
trying to describe it as something else, though. But whatever it was, like
Now
the
say
weird
moist.
moist.
I'm moist. Oh no!
Wait, what was the
It's
one that he
so
did?
Weird.
What was the
I don't
one?
remember.
I don't remember.
Kim, what was it?
No.
What's
I
the
don't-
word that he doesn't
She's
like?
not going to
Kim's
remember.
not paying attention.
She has a terrible memory.
We're talking about
But yeah, it
vagina
was-
face.
gonna
Like,
listen
I was
to it now.
disappointed with like the way it looked. I'm like, how the fuck is this thing so goddamn
I know it
menacing?
wasn't very like. I don't know. Maybe they were just going more for like, you would be freaked out if you saw this fucking thing
Yeah.
in real life.
I would,
looking
yeah.
like this elk clitoris.
I like how it kind of, with the clitoris, vagina, it kind of like hypnotized, it seemed, people. Because it
As
seemed.
clitorises and vaginas
'Cause
often
with-
do to men.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. Well, Dom, like when he sees it, he doesn't see the.
They were for.
giant
They
thing.
okay.
He
They were
sees
for-
his wife
Yeah.
because he's staring in the eyes.
He sees the representation of the clitoris that he knows.
Yes,
Yes.
yes.
That's what it is.
Oh, so yeah, I thought it was very like ominous, and I know I found it funny too once you fully see it. You're like, how'd that fucking thing hide behind a tree? That thing was
Exactly.
hiding behind a tree.
Up
Like,
until they showed you exactly what it was, like, what the fuck is this thing? And then when they finally reveal, I'm like, oh, that's what they're running from?
yeah, no,
It's
it
a
was
clitoris giraffe.
definitely
Yes.
creepy, and I liked how we did get a lot of death and gore before we see it, because
Oh,
then
yeah.
you see like, okay, it does that, okay, and then I'm scared of it. Like you see it's like it's hanging people from trees and disemboweling them. You're like, that's a creepy fucking
See,
thing.
I think this movie would have been one of those ones to where maybe you didn't need to see it at all.
Yeah.
Because
I would have been happy with that, too.
Think about this movie with the imagery of that elk in the tree and that whole scene when they're like, I don't know who did this, like a bear, and I don't remember who it was. I think it was Dom or somebody who was like, do bears do that? Like,
Yeah,
and I
love
was like, he sounds more scared. Like he was like, I never knew bears could do that. And we took this fucking shortcut.
Yeah.
No, I love a lot of the lines in this movie because Phil says, this is clearly the house we get murdered in when they
Yep.
find that house in the middle of the fucking woods. I was like, yeah, that would be something I would say.
Yeah.
Yes.
All right. Well, this is where I die. Mm-hmm. Yeah, it was very. It reminded me a lot of Blair Witch in the kind of the forest feel and like especially that crappy
Yeah.
little shit shack house and all
Yeah.
that. But I'm like, after that day, like, go back. Doesn't matter. Like, Dom. Yeah, it's fucking tough through.
I hated that fucker. But this movie
It was his fault. He was like, let's
Yes.
fucking take the shortcut.
Well, we all have a Dom in our friend group.
this movie did confirm two things for me, though. And the first thing I'm going to say that
Ditch the Doms in your group.
that it confirmed for me is that even people in Europe have hillbillies. Because
Oh,
remember,
yes.
even they said that
Yes.
they're hillbillies.
So what is the line that he said?
No,
that
this was so much. The whole movie. Okay, so this was my second time watching this. I watched this when it first came out on
Yeah.
Netflix. And the whole time I was watching this for the second time, I was like, this is The Hills Have Eyes for the Nordic countries.
To Kim, I'm like, is this going to take a wrong turn and we're going to run into a bunch of hillbillies?
Exactly. Yeah. Well, I mean, we even have the ominous, broken down VW bus in the middle of nowhere. They find, pictures in the wallet or whatever in that old campsite.
The 80s or whatever.
So it's clearly these people do this to the people who wind up in the middle of the forest in, where did they say, Sweden? Is that what they said they were?
Yeah, it was he said it was the border between Sweden and Norway, I think.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know my fucking geography, so
And no, then they were like, let's take this shortcut through the trees. I was like, do y'all see those trees?
Yes.
That's the densest fucking forest that I've ever seen in my life. I ain't walking through that shit.
So it confirmed to me that they have hillbillies and they refer to them as hillbillies.
That first shot where they're going over all the trees, my first thought was them some dense trees.
I know, when you look over that, it's like, all right, if we just cut through all, I'm like, what the fuck?
I know. And what are you cutting through? And that scene where they're walking through all the dead trees, they're literally hitting pieces of all the trees.
Breaking off.
I'm like, who was like, yeah, this is a smart choice?
Okay, and now the second thing that this confirmed for me, when anybody ever tries to get poor Saul to go camping,
Go hiking.
or
Are
hiking,
you scared of camping?
no, I've seen
You're
enough
scared of
both.
camping, are you?
No.
Some people just aren't outdoorsy, all right?
This gives me further proof on why I will not go out into the wilderness.
We need to have a
movies?
So I forgot to tell you, we're doing a
we're not.
a business retreat. and
We're not
going-
doing
we're
no
going
business
camping.
retreat. I know what happens in
We
horror
should.
movies,
We should
and
have
I
a
would be
camp
the
out,
exception.
a scary camp out.
It's 3 to 4, Saul. You have
Mm-hmm.
to go.
I know what happens
is,
in scary movies, and
we're
my ass is
having,
not going out there. I like my indoor.
Just be able to
putting.
run faster than one of these two, and you're fine, Saul.
I will trip your asses. I will tell you that. I will be
you
like
go.
in every
This is
single one of the movies,
premeditated
like when we
murder.
watched Evil Dead and all the other movies. Be like, as soon as shit starts going bad, like, nope, I'm getting in my car and I'm going home.
I was raped by a tree. I have to leave, guys. I have to.
You're just on drugs.
But again, this
Well, I need to be on drugs. I was just raped by
I
a
was
fucking
raped by a
tree.
tree.
this
Thank you.
further cements my not wanting to go out and play in the woods or hunt.
Saul's afraid of the wilderness.
Hey,
not
I
afraid of the
get it.
wilderness.
I like how this movie so much played with the reality, because
Yes.
a lot of the times, even when they open it up and they're at a bar,
Yeah.
chatting about what lads trip they're gonna take next, right? They're all throwing out
Do
ideas.
guys do this?
Apparently,
No, it's like-
European dudes.
European dudes do
maybe
this?
European dudes have better bromances than us
I
Americans.
guess
I don't
so.
know.
Or maybe,
Or maybe
the
they have
pandemic,
time because we don't.
Yeah.
We work ourselves to death. Europeans
The
are
pan-
like, let's go have fun with our
The
lives.
pandemic has just scarred me to be like, I
aren't
don't want to
they-
hang out with anybody. Fuck you
Aren't
guys.
Europeans required to take holiday?
Yes, I think so. We're
Yeah,
so jealous
but I'm
of
saying,
y'all.
like, why do you have to go hang out with other dudes?
So
And,
rough.
like, if I had a vacation, I'm like, I'm gonna hang out with you. What the fuck? Like,
I don't know. Hey,
And I get that they were
this
playing
is like
up
the Hangover
No.
for your mid-30s.
I get that
This
they
is
were
the
playing
wrong type
up.
of a hangover.
They were playing up the fact that, they were like middle-aged dudes, and most of them had wives and kids, and we're like,
Yeah.
just get away from the wives and kids, and we'll go on this trip or whatever, blah blah blah. But I'm like, yeah, it's just weird to me, and that's probably a European thing, I guess.
Yes.
Yeah,
I
but no,
used-
I like how when they're in it and they go in and Luke has clearly a drinking problem, right? That
And
was what they were
PTSD.
alluding to.
Yeah.
Well, he got PTSD from what happened.
Well, no, but when they
No, but
first
that night,
talk,
that night when they go to the
Yeah.
liquor store, he's like, "Oh, who wants to keep drinking?" And he's like, "It's a school
so
night,
he
man."
clearly
Like,
has alcoholism, and he goes in there, and then I love how it's so quick because they have all that stuff happen, and Robert dies in the store, and
Yeah.
Luke does nothing.
yeah.
But I like
he
he
cowered.
wakes up and it's a nightmare,
Yeah.
and it's
Yeah.
right into the
It's right into the fucking.
the
they're in
scene,
the
yeah,
middle of
they're
nowhere.
already in the middle of nowhere.
It's really weird to me seeing them camp in like just a big empty field of grass.
I know.
And I know it's just big rolling hills of grass. I'm like, I feel like you're gonna get like ransacked by a stampede of sheep or something. This isn't camping, weirdo. Like, this is just weird to me.
It's a weird thing to see because we're not used to that sort of like what's the word, landscape.
Yes.
I guess like it's really a whole different experience because we've had all of these types of movies, like I said, The Hills Have Eyes, but we're expecting desert. We're
Yes.
expecting the American Southwest, or even with Wrong Turn, we're expecting Virginia.
it just added another element of weirdness to me.
Yeah,
This movie just be like,
it
why-
seems off to
why-
us even
why-
more.
Why
yeah,
are you there? Get away from there. There's sheep everywhere.
but when they're going,
Okay, fuck you, Luke, is all I'm saying.
Yeah.
Luke, fuck you. You didn't do shit, man.
I'm not even
you
making
could
a
have done
sound.
anything.
Like, they didn't even
you
do
had,
nothing,
Like,
man.
knock a shell shelf over, grab a
Throw
bottle.
a bottle into the next
He had
thing.
the bottle in his
the little Weasley one that had the machete that actually killed Robert. I'm like, you throw a fucking bottle at that motherfucker's
It wasn't even a
head.
machete, it was a pipe. He got beat to death with a
Yeah,
pipe.
all right, it was pipe, yeah. So I'm like, you throw a fucking bottle at that little Weasley asshole's head. I don't care if he's on meth. I don't care. And you know they ain't got no guns because it's fucking Europe, man.
Yeah.
They don't have guns. That's why he had a pipe and a fucking knife.
Throw the bottle. I know when they have that scene, they're like, "Do you think it's my fault?" I'm like, "Luke, where have you been? Of course it's your fault."
See, and I think
Your
that
ass is
further,
behind-
I think their further annoyance with Luke, and besides even before the whole Robert's death and all that, where he didn't do shit, you fucking piece of shit.
Yeah.
They were like, he's the one of us that just won't grow up. It's like he's the one that's refusing to grow up. I mean, they don't really go into much, but besides the fact that he's not married, doesn't have kids, and all that, he's still kind of on his own. Like,
Yeah.
And I'm sure if you follow that, normal human that are like that, then it's like probably bounces around jobs, this and that, like, all that kind of shit. So like they were already annoyed at him for not growing up when they're all moved on and they're adults and shit like that. And then the fuck you just got Robert killed, and now his wife and his kids. Like, what the fuck are you gonna tell them?
I know. Like even after, okay, so the guy hits him in the face. Right, and if I see my friend go down, that's when I'm starting to throw
that's
shit.
when you're like, fuck. He had the bottle in his hand.
But then he stands there while he gets beat to death, and like he just stays crouched. And like I get it, trauma responses, or even like anything.
Yeah.
You can't make your body move if it's too scared or whatever. But like you can throw a bottle, you can make some noise to draw the attention away.
Throw the bottle,
into the next
other
aisle.
direction.
Yeah, like
just around the corner, like make it seem like somebody else is over there.
Because in those situations, especially people on meth or like on drugs that are hyped up, like they're gonna be like, "This is taking too long. We gotta go. We gotta go." Like in that type of situation.
And even one of them was doing that too.
Yeah, like once you gotta just hurry it up, like make it take too long, and then like so. Yeah, if you're ever in that situation, just like Paul said before, make it not worth it.
And if anything in there, you have a bunch of glass bottles to throw.
It's not even that, Luke. You probably shit your pants anyway. Just throw it at him.
Yeah.
Do something unexpected and make it not worth
Throw
it.
the shit at them.
Yes, he probably saying he shit his pants,
Monkey
sat
them
there,
right
like,
in the face.
yeah, just get out, start throwing shit, and then he's like, "What the hell?" And he looks at the shit that you just threw at his chest. When he looks down, throw that bottle of vodka at his fucking head.
Right?
There you go.
Yes.
Throw
Problem
the
solved.
bottles. You know how heavy them bitches are.
Yes.
Throw
Especially
them.
full.
Yeah.
Yes.
Grab the handle. The big like the 1.75 liter like jug that's like $50. Like grab one of those motherfuckers. The big cheap bottles of wine, the little hook thing.
Yeah.
Break it, cut them, man. Just do something.
Oh, my
do
goodness.
something, Luke.
Yeah. You suck, Luke.
Sorry. But yeah, no, when they're doing that whole thing and Luke is standing there at Dom and he's like, "Say it, bitch. Say it." It's like, no, Luke. Like we're all aware.
We're all thinking that.
We're all there that you didn't do nothing.
Is that how you really feel? Is there any other way to feel about it, Luke?
I
mean,
I love it
seriously.
in the balls. Like, say it. Like, really? I'll say it, bitch. I'm not the friend to be like, say it. Because I'm going to tear you apart right now with my words. What's going to happen?
Here's my question. They allude to this, right? When he talks about the bridge, right? Mm-hmm. The bridge.
The bridge.
The bridge. You don't remember when he's like about the bridge? He's like, what do you mean the bridge? He's like, the bridge, the gooch, the perineum, the taint.
yeah.
Oh, I
So
forgot
how
about
many
that.
how many languages in the history of mankind has there been a word for taint? Because we all have one.
Oh,
So
yeah.
there has to be like somewhere in hieroglyphics in Egypt somewhere there's a word or a symbol for taint. There's got to be a word or symbol for taint.
There's probably
it's a
is.
bird or some shit with like a fish or something. It's got to be something weird, but.
I don't know. People are weird. We have to name all the parts of ourselves.
Well, you got to know what you're talking about. I think that's how language comes up. It's like when you mention something, like, all right, well, we need to make a
but,
word
like,
for it now.
I get like.
This one, the taint,
Well, I guess it's probably because somebody somewhere out there
the gooch.
the first time had something wrong with it, right?
That's what I'm
like
saying.
you can't be like my liver hurts, right? Like you have to have a name for what that
That's
is.
what I'm
right?
saying. Like,
So, yeah, I
the first
guess.
time someone got like a taint injury or
It's like,
something,
look,
it was like,
what is this?
help with this thing
With
down
this,
here.
Like, what are you talking about
my
specifically?
undercarriage, you know.
Oh, you popped a seam. Okay, we'll fix it.
Like, no, that's not what I mean.
But yeah, when they go to that house, so you're walking through the woods, right? You're walking along, and you find this fucking random house. And then you go upstairs, and there's some fucking horned deity upstairs. And you're gonna sleep in that house? I don't
Yeah.
fucking think so. I don't care how hard it's
It's
raining.
not like they didn't have tents. I'm like, all right, we'll sleep outside.
No, my
Okay.
ass is still walking. You're saying we're 6 miles from town?
it's
Let's go.
Yeah, it's raining, but you have fucking tents, like Paul said.
Yeah.
Here's another thing that kind of confused me about their whole Wicker Man deity thing.
Mm-hmm.
Why did that thing have fucking pelican feet? Like, it was weird. Like,
no, it was feet that had been. There was a human in there that was decomposing.
No, it looked like pelican feet when they showed
It's
the bottom.
because it was decomposing.
No, those were pelican feet. Those were not human feet that were decomposing. I'm like, so it's a giant pelican.
They found a bird.
And an elk. And
why would it be a pelican though?
I don't know.
By the water.
Why did it have pelican feet then?
Didn't. Oh.
Okay, we're gonna put it back on. I'm gonna show you the thing had fucking. I'm talking about the Wicker Man
Yes,
thing
I'm aware of what
in
you're
the first
talking
cabin,
about.
right? It had pelican feet.
Was decomposing human feet.
It was decomposing pelican feet because that's what it fucking looked like. Okay, I could die right now and my feet will never look like a fucking pelican.
Eventually,
Do they have to be pelican feet? What if
the
they were duck
skin
feet?
will form around the bones.
They were too small to be
and
duck feet.
dry out.
And form pelican shapes.
Yes. They
not
will
a
make
thing.
it look webbed.
That's
That's
not a
what it
thing.
looks like.
Decomposing makes it look webbed. That's not even a
Yes,
thing.
because as the
See,
skin
again, we need a coroner.
As the skin dries out and retracts around the bone, it's gonna make it look more webbed.
We need a coroner friend or a CSI person, like just somebody that's like, I want
Maybe-
an old dude that's
This
like
actually
been in
could be just us being way too into movies and way too
okay,
far.
but we're not the only ones. All right, there's plenty of podcasts. Like, I want to. If there's a podcast out there where it's like an old medical examiner guy that does a podcast, like, please, I want you to be on our show. Just we'll have a
questions
whole day
again.
of questions. We'll watch whatever movie he wants to
Well,
watch.
here's
too.
a question. I have a question.
Okay.
Why does Luke? Why does he get chosen by the Jägermeister monster?
They said something about because of the guilt that he's carrying. Like
Is he
whatever.
sad?
Yeah. The hillbillies later on said something like they could sense your overwhelming sense of
Pain
guilt or
or
something or
pain
pain.
or whatever.
Yeah, I think they said pain. I think it was like they know you have big pain or something like that. Something
so
stupid like
Luke
that.
was actually just grieving then when he was like, "Say it, Dom, because
Yeah.
I need you to hear. I need you to
Yeah,
show
that's
me
what it
right
was.
now so I can
Please.
feel."
I know. I'm crying for help.
Yes. All right. Okay, I get it. But I dig it. They explore a lot of human emotions in this one. All the dudes go through a lot of emotions in this one.
Well, that one dude who pisses himself. Was
Yes,
it, Hutch?
he's so embarrassed about it. I was like, "Bitch, have you looked around? All these guys had a rough night."
Yeah, but okay, yeah, that night was really fucking weird. All right.
Yeah,
'Cause
I
you
mean,
have-
we've all had
Yeah.
those rough nights where you go out with your friends, but fuck.
This was,
I know. Okay. Well, here's another thing. Like, I wouldn't know how to act around someone that pissed themselves at
Yes.
middle age. And it's one thing if like they got super drunk or something, and
Yeah.
they passed out and somebody pissed themselves. Fine, I get that. Especially you're getting older now. Whatever. You got too drunk. You pissed yourself in the middle of the night. But you guys were just dreaming. I wanted her to be like, Dom put my hand in the water while I slept.
No,
that whole thing.
I think it might say more about you that you think it's okay for a dude to get drunk and piss himself more than it's okay for a dude to be scared and piss himself.
No, I'm
that
saying
might say more about you.
No, I'm saying I could see that happening a lot more or a lot easier.
Hey, fear is fear,
than,
man.
But then
You have a physical, emotional response to
Nothing
it.
had really happened at that point, other than they saw the thing.
They
in
were
the top.
having all the
were all having
nightmares.
nightmares.
But they hadn't talked about it though.
Yeah.
at
No,
all.
because they
Because
were.
that
But
was
they all wake up in a frenzy.
'cause
That's
that
what
was-
I'm saying. So
yeah.
I would understand it. You have a physical reaction to fear.
But
he
okay,
was
but you don't
screaming.
know- he wasn't screaming. It
Yes,
was
he
Dom that was screaming.
No,
I
Dom
thought.
was saying Gail.
Yeah. Okay,
Dom was
so
up
he was
against
calling-
the wall
yeah, he
going
was calling
Gail.
for his wife.
Hutch was screaming.
Yeah.
I guess, man, but still, I don't know.
And they did try to talk about it, but dude kept shutting it down. He's
Yeah, Hutch
"I
was
don't
like,
wanna
I don't
nope,
talk
nope,
about it.
nope.
Like, dude, you
Because
pissed
he even said-
yourself.
yeah.
It's
Well, if
cool.
you just pissed yourself, you want to talk about it.
I felt
either.
so bad for Phil. He's like, I was praying to that thing. Are we going to talk about this?
And not just that though, but he was upstairs naked praying to that thing.
Yeah, I mean that you don't want to wind up naked and praying to
See,
that
okay,
shit.
then that's what I'm saying. Like, all right, yeah, Hutch pissed himself when we were talking to Phil. Like, why were you doing that? Like, all right,
He didn't
we can
know. He
overlook
was
it.
asleep. Like when he comes out of it, he's like,
Well, see,
"What
that's
the
the thing.
fuck?"
I want to know what the fuck their dreams were.
I know.
Because Dom talks about later. He's like, "You want to know what my dream was?" And blah,
They
blah, blah.
offered it
Like,
to
so-
me, and I
yeah,
saw Gail. Yeah,
He tells him like basically how he dies or whatever, and then we obviously know what Luke goes through and he has
Yeah.
those flashbacks and all that. And I do have to say, those flashback scenes were like they incorporated the grocery store with the
Yeah,
forest.
like I
I'm
said, they
that's really great.
Yeah,
like,
they
that's
played around with the reality.
That's really great. Like just from like a set point of view. I'm
Yeah.
like, that was done really well.
Oh, you know the lights into that
the lights in the forest. Look, I mean, it's
moss,
clearly
yeah.
that was like on a set or whatever. But still, I'm like, that was really like fucking
Yeah, it was done
quality
well.
work in that. So kudos to them.
That was cool.
I know. I liked how it kept getting more foresty, like each time he went back
Yeah.
to where like sometimes you would see the floor and then by the end it was like Robert was laying on the forest floor. You know, he
Yeah.
wasn't on the actual like tiled floor.
When it's outside, it's just the ground.
Well, forest floor is what you call it. You're talking about it.
So when they woke up from their hangover gone wrong moment, how the hell did dude get? What's his name? Luke get those? What the hell was that on his chest?
Well,
That
that's
was
how he
his
was
mark.
chosen. Yeah, that was his chosen mark because all the hillbillies had
the
it.
Jägermeister Clitoris had marked him, and that's how we knew you were the keeper. You were the one chosen to worship me and move on.
You feel sad.
with the hillbillies. I wrote down, what if staying in that second cabin was the way to like defeat the evil? It's like, here's your loophole. Here's the evil loophole. As they were hiking and they stayed in the first cabin and they kept going and they ran into that second cabin. They're like,
Yeah.
no, we can't stay here. And they kept going. What if that's like the evil loophole? Like that's the thing. It's like, if you'd have stayed there, we would have just left you alone. Like, but no one ever
ain't
stays there.
trusting it. I ain't
And so that
trusting
makes
it.
me think evil loophole. That's an awesome band name. So if you're looking for a band name,
There you
evil
go.
loophole. And also pagan hillbillies. That would be an awesome
Pagan
band name.
hillbillies is a good one.
Because that's basically what I'm like. These are pagan hillbillies. Yeah. I don't know if they said that or they alluded to that because they said pagans and hillbillies. So I'm like,
Yes.
pagan hillbillies is good for me.
I don't know though. And I like how she was like, he's the bastard son of Loki. I don't know. I'd be like, are you though? I want to know. Like, I
And
have
how do I know
questions.
this? How do I know that the giraffe and some,
I don't
elk
just go along
and a lady.
with the fold. I need to
well, the thing
research.
that they've got going for them for people to believe that is just the fact that you see the motherfucking thing. You're like, I
Yeah.
can't explain this thing.
I know, and they were talking about how it's so good to like pray to him or to worship him or something. They said it's a privilege.
god.
Yeah, it's a privilege.
It's a privilege or
deity.
something. So I'm like, but like he chose Luke because he was sad, right?
Yeah.
So does that just mean he's like, you have to stay here and be sad forever?
I think so.
Okay. Think about this, though. Think about everything you know about cults and who they target and how they take you and isolate you from your family. And it's usually because something's going wrong in your life.
Yes.
Are things going bad in your life? Come join us. Be in our cult. So basically, it was just a weird psychedelic, like, there's probably something in the air. Like there's some weird chemical in the air that gives them like a psychedelic drug. And that's why all the hillbillies think they're worshiping this weird giraffe.
Well, that was
thing.
Midsommar, yeah.
So so basically, there's something weird in the forest. It's there's spores from psychedelic mushrooms in the air,
There you go.
Like
And
the
they
Salem
all-
witch trials.
and they all think that it's the clitoris Jägermeister monster with two hands apparently.
I don't know. Like, I wanted to see it in the daytime all stood up, right? So I could be like, okay, what do you have going on? Because when he does stand up, it looks like it opens up more.
Yeah, it had that weird thing to where like it almost looked like a person, like it stood up
Did
and
you
like
have you seen
it,
a
it
picture of
fucking it did the Transformers thing was like
Have you seen
Yeah.
a picture of it? Of what it actually looks like?
Oh, I think they release some stuff after the movie came out. I think of what it was
Yes.
supposed to. Yeah.
My friend who recommended this movie actually sent me pictures of the actual thing, and it makes absolutely no sense.
Yeah, they never make sense. It's like when you see the ones of the in the Quiet Place when they or not.
Yeah.
No, was it the Quiet Place or
No,
was it the
Bird Box.
No, Bird Box. Yeah, that's what it was. When they showed those, like the concept of it, I'm like, I'm glad they didn't show that at all because it just looked weird.
Yeah, it was more ominous.
Yeah, it's a
not
weird
seeing it.
clitoris monster.
Yeah.
with hands.
You see, it's got the hands down
And
bottom,
antlers.
and then you have the hood, like you said, the clit hood or whatever you want to call it, and then
man
it's
in the
got the
book.
weird arms up top too, like it's missing its head.
See, yeah, I'm fine. But should not have shown it then.
Yeah,
Could've
it
just
would
alluded
like
to
I
it.
would have been fine with just like seeing antlers and like maybe the outline of it and not having to see
Yeah.
it completely. I didn't like seeing it at the end when Luke is just screaming at it.
I didn't get that. Like, why the fuck was he screaming at it?
Because when you're in the forest and you're attacked by an animal, you have to show your dominance to the animal, or
Then
it will
why did he do
continue
that at
to
the
attack
beginning?
You.
No,
Because he looked at the fucking
he
thing. But
screamed because he got out. He
because
got
he had
away.
because
so
he
it
had
was-
the axe at that point and already hit it in the fucking clit hood, I guess.
Yes.
and then got out. Like I'm assuming that was like the boundary of where
Yeah.
the
Where you could
creature
go.
could go.
Those
or
fucking
whatever.
dense ass trees.
See, I told you.
So it was like once he got out of the boundary or whatever, and he's
Yeah.
like, I hit you and I'm out and fuck you, man. So I think it was like a frustration thing also, like, and a relief thing. You're just a stress reliever at that
Well,
point.
see,
right?
I didn't need it to stand there and look at him screaming because it was more like an animal that was sad. Like, oh.
And
you go.
how scary is this thing really? I mean, besides the fact that it
can take you and put you
grab
into a tree.
and pick you all up. But every time before they actually started showing the thing, and especially the night when they stay in the first cabin and like you hear the thing outside, I'm like,
Growling.
I'm like, why does this?
It sounded
I'm
like an elk to
no,
me.
it okay. The breath sounded like Zoltek from Little Giants. Remember back when Ed O'Neill was still allowed to make fun of fat people? That's what the creature sounded like when he was doing that, like the 40-yard dash or whatever in that movie. So yeah, it's not very scary, especially if Luke's fucking. Pansy ass could fucking defeat it at the end. Finally,
Well, Luke had
stood
help.
up to something.
He had a broken thumb too, though.
Yeah, he broke his thumb to get out of that
Well,
thing.
that's good.
Well, the one thing when they took him when he got knocked out because they ran into the hillbillies and they took him into that room. When he got out, and I'm like, okay, you need to get the fuck out of there. But it's like, but when what was it? Dom told him to burn the fucking place down. I was like,
well, he goes upstairs because the old.
Yeah.
The old lady is coming back in, so
When he
goes
punches her, I
I
died.
like that was.
I was
so
like, just
hilarious.
right to the face,
Boom!
man.
Just knocked that bitch. Just
I'm
right
like,
there.
oh, bitch, went down.
the thing that I thought was when he was trapped in that room by himself, he had that lantern, and I kept telling Kim, I was like, why doesn't he just tip that thing over and start a giant ass fire? If you know you're gonna die, might as well just try to burn this fucking place down. And then when he gets out and he actually grabs that torch, I'm like, okay, there you go. Now start setting fucking things on fire.
When he was upstairs in that room with all those other
the
like,
church?
bodies,
Yeah.
the church thing, whatever. When they started moving, I'm like, that's pretty good. I
And
enjoyed
so
that scene.
that's what I took when she was like, it allows us to live beyond a natural life. So I'm like, are they zombies then?
So,
It's
well,
like they're just so decrepit because they're all like,
I know it's like what happens. Like your body still ages and deteriorates, but you're just always alive. Like, that sounds horrible.
and so is that the chick from the wallet? The
I
blonde
would
chick?
think it would be. I would have been. That's how I took it.
Well, if you take it as because if you take it if there's always a chosen one, then I wasn't
Yeah.
saying like she was the chosen of the. It was like a mom and dad and the little girl. I think.
Yeah.
So obviously her. So.
But yeah,
That
like I said,
makes-
kudos
yeah.
to him though. When he started
That
burning
makes
everything
sense.
down, I'm like, that's exactly what I would have fucking done.
Should have burned everything down sooner though.
Yeah.
Well, and
This is
but-
why we should just burn forests. There's too many things, too many weird
Especially
shit out
Nordic
there.
ones. So would you guys have stayed in that creepy cabin with
No.
The first one.
the
you
first
mean, or
one when
any
you go
of them?
upstairs? Like I get it at first. They're like, okay, it's this is fine, whatever. But then when they go upstairs and they see the thing, they see that little wicker thing. I'm like, meh.
I'm saying no because
See-
basically
That's
you're
out.
not getting my ass out there to begin with.
See,
Okay,
that's the
fair.
point. I'm like, we're going back out the way we came in.
Yeah.
I don't care.
Yep.
I'm gonna walk all night until I get out of this fucking forest. And you guys can stay here if you want.
Dom,
Well,
you
one of them
gotta
did
suck
say
it up.
that.
It was Dom's fucking fault they
Yes.
went that way because it was Hutch and Luke who were talking about cutting through the forest, and Luke was like, I don't know if we should do that,
Yeah.
blah blah blah, and then Dom just was like, if we found a shorter way, let's fucking move.
Oh, I know. And then when they're in the middle of the woods and they find that path or whatever, he's like, we're going on a path.
Yeah, we're just going. It looks like a path, and it's going to lead to somewhere. I'm like, oh yeah, it's going to lead right to them. You fucking idiot!
Yes.
Like, who do you think is out here doing it? And he's like, look, man-made things. There's obviously people out here. I'm like, and that's a good thing. You think? Like,
I
why?
know.
Like, what
They're
are you
out
thinking
here
is
for
going to
a
happen?
reason.
You think
They
there's
are
gonna be some
secluded from
resort?
people? Yeah, for a
Especially
reason.
after they found that house, right? They slept in the house. Shit happened. I mean, that house is signs of life and people.
Yeah, and it's literally Dom. It was like because I think it was that at least two of them after that night were like, let's just go back the same way and we'll go take the long way,
Yeah.
blah blah blah. And that's when Dom was like, "There's the path. Let's just fucking take
Yeah,
it.
it's like, no,
let's
Dom.
keep going."
The minute I knew I was going to hate Dom is when he sprained his knee and he's like, oh, it's my meniscus. It's my meniscus. I
Oh,
know it's
yeah.
my meniscus.
Yeah. You're
Like, who the fuck knows right off the bat?
Well, okay, 'cause that to me says that he has had prior knee injuries or some shit. If he knows exactly
So
what
then-
the fucking part, so why
Why
go
would you
hiking?
go hiking?
Yes.
Yeah.
And I get that it's your dead friend's wish that he wanted to go do this, and you're doing it to remember because they had to pour one out for Robert when they did that.
But did they
that
pour
rock
one
thing
out though, or was that Hutch just being like, "We're not passing this around because Luke's a fucking alcoholic"?
See, I kind of got that too because the way that it gave that extended, like we're just gonna pour it all out.
Yeah.
So, yeah. Sorry, Luke. We just.
Yeah.
Hey, so yeah, what are we doing? It's still pouring
I
the
know
whole time.
that
Like,
it's just still pouring.
It was like 35 seconds of straight pouring, or like,
Let's all stare at Luke while this pours.
you know why we're pouring this out, right, Luke?
Like, you should be doing this, but you wouldn't be because you'd be drinking it.
And again, okay, so when they're on the path, right, when they were on the true path where they were supposed to be hiking and stuff, it looked flat, like you said. It was just like rolling hills, right?
Yeah.
So it made more sense that they would stick to that as far as going. And I mean, whenever you go down a mountain or through trees, that shit's always rocky and hard to walk
deep.
through. Yeah, so why would you
Several
even...
crevasses.
Yes.
Again, another reason why you won't take me camping is it.
Well, we're not taking you hiking. We're taking you camping. So.
Or hiking. If I have to physically exert myself more than I would like to, I'm not doing it.
Okay, so what if you wake up in the woods in the middle of nowhere?
I'm going to sleep there until somebody finds me.
Okay, well, who's going to come looking for you?
They're gonna.
If we hid you there.
If somebody's going to know,
If we
I'm
take
missing.
you, I'm saying, if we take you camping and we're the ones that hide you in the woods, who the fuck do you think's going to look for you?
You're not going to take me camping because if I know you're going to take me camping, I ain't going.
It's a corporate retreat. I'm sorry. It's mandatory work meeting.
No.
So no, you guys wouldn't sleep in the house.
No, yeah, like I said, I would just start walking. I'm like, fuck it. We walked this far in the rain. I don't care. Let's just, I mean, if anything, I would have been like, let's warm up for a little bit, dry off, and then I'm leaving. Like, 10, 15 minutes after we get this fire going.
Oh, I know. That was the part when they get into the house, right? When they find it's raining and everything, and Luke is still standing outside because he hears something.
Yeah, it's because Zoltek's out there running laps.
Yeah, and Hutch goes, "Oh, Luke, you're getting soaked." I'm like, "Bitch, Luke is already soaked. All y'all are already soaked." But then they get inside, and all of them have started to dry already. I'm like, no.
It's one of those movie things. And I feel like that shack, the way it looked, and like that stove, you get that stove too hot, like this shack's just gonna.
The whole thing is gonna burn
down.
down. Yeah.
It's like you started a fire.
Oh yeah, but then the whole dream thing, I thought that night was creepy, and then when they have the second night when they're in their tents, that was like a little Blair Witch, especially when the tents were going.
Yeah, when they wake up and leave their tents and just
Hutch
lost,
because Hutch
right?
gets taken.
Yes.
Yeah, and then they're running around in the dark. Never run around in the dark.
Yeah,
Never a good idea.
Unless
Reason why
it's
you won't have me
unless
going
it's a
out
work
there.
retreat.
No. The only work retreat you guys would get me to go if you show me where the hotel is. I ain't going anywhere outside.
We have to hike. We have to hike through the forest to get to the hotel, just like
Well,
this
that's
movie.
just a dumb hotel.
Yeah, that's a dumb hotel.
Just like this
Like
movie.
Angie said, that's a dumb hotel. I ain't walking
So
to it.
our corporate retreat is we're going to go to this Nordic forest between Sweden and Norway.
No. Like, I've seen the ritual. I know what happens. I'm not doing it.
I'm down. Give me some crepes and some other things. I don't know what's in Nordic
Y'all
food.
y'all can send me pictures. I'll be here in my house, nice and comfortable.
Belgian waffles. What?
They didn't go to Belgium, remember?
That's
They
right.
didn't want to go to Germany because what was it?
Norway. We said Belgium.
A little trivia thing. What is it? The night after the murders, or not the night after the murder. The night after the murder, like when they all woke up in their little
The first day in the
the first day in the camp
in the sheep hills.
Sheep Hills. The one thing to pay attention to is the way they come out, because the trivia says the way each of them come out is in order how they die.
I didn't notice that. So then obviously Luke goes last.
Yes.
Well, no, that doesn't make sense though. Then he would still be in the tent. He never came out, so he lives. That's theory. It's just crap then.
Okay.
If they come out the order they die, then obviously
Because
he
Phil,
didn't die.
because what? Luke was already out there, so the way everybody else comes out is the order they die.
That's what you mean. I
Yeah,
didn't
because he
notice
was already
that.
out there. He was having a cigarette. And again, how the fuck are you going hiking with a freaking nicotine addiction?
It's
I said
no,
that- like-
because
Cigarette
you really.
smokers have done
Hey,
things.
I've okay. The scene where they get up to that spot and they're like, "This is a good place to do that." Robert's like memorial thing or whatever.
Yes.
They get up to that top, that peak or whatever, and I think it's Hutch and Luke, and they get up there like, "I think this is a great spot to do it." And then Luke immediately pulls a cigarette. It's like, oh fuck. And if you've never been a smoker, because I've never been a smoker, but I used to hang out with people that smoked, and I know we've gone on hikes to where the first thing we get to the top of the mountain, they're like lighting that up, like, fuck.
Yeah, you gotta get that nicotine fix.
All right, let's go back down the mountain now.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's
Yeah.
accurate to smokers.
Some people are like nicotine is like coffee to them.
But still.
Yeah, you need the energy to get to. Like, he wasn't gonna have a drink, so he needed to smoke at least.
Well, he has addiction problems, obviously.
Obviously.
Addicted to being a wuss.
Yes.
I know.
That too.
Even when he gets out, like when he gets out of because he's tied behind his back with his hands tied behind
Yeah.
his back at first. when he gets his first out, he still stays tied for a long time with the other hand. I'm like, what are you doing?
Well, because I think he gets that one out, and then someone comes in, and that's when he puts his hand back behind his back, and he's pretending that he's got them both
because
tied still.
the girl comes in.
Yeah, the girl
food.
comes in and just sits food down, and then she leaves again. But even then, he's still standing there. And like, I know his thumb was broken or whatever, but like, I don't know. I have really flimsy. I have really flimsy bones in my hands, so I can escape anything.
I know.
I
don't understand how breaking your thumb was
and the way
help.
he broke it was outward.
Yeah,
more.
I'm like, how does that? Plus, it's going to start swelling like immediately. Like,
yeah.
How does that help get out of the rope? Like, I don't know. I don't get it. But
And why was he just like, he kept giving himself rope burn? I was like, obviously that's not working.
he was trying to like squeeze and turn at the same time.
He was trying to make his hands smaller. That's the only reason I can think of why
You
he
gotta
broke
tuck
this
that thumb. Like I can tuck that all the way in and make it the same size as my wrist and get anything out. Usually,
I can't do that.
Paul can't either, but I can't.
Let's see, I can't.
I'm really weak. Yeah, see, you just scoop it in. Yeah,
My handcuffs don't work. Maybe.
I'm used to just get it out. Yeah.
I got fat wrist. It won't work.
I really enjoyed their like slow pushing shots, like with just the ominous trees and stuff like that.
Oh yeah,
So-
there was one shot where they were going when they're walking and. You think that they're further away and you can't tell what you're looking at until then you see
it
where
takes a
them
little
come
while.
in. But then they're like, fuck, those trees are dense.
Yeah,
Like,
that was a very cool shot. And there was a lot of like those definitely reminded like give me that Blair Witch vibe as well, and just like
yeah, it
the
almost
general
adds like
horror.
a claustrophobic element
Yes,
to it.
Yeah.
definitely with
Like
that.
the whole forest is closing in on you, which is
It's
creepy.
so-
Yeah,
it's-
those trees. I was just like, this ain't the type of forest Angie needs to be in. I don't like. I've seen Blair Witch. I'm like, I can navigate this forest, right? Like those are my forests. I'm from America. These are my forests. But you go out of my norm, and I'm like, nope, I can't navigate this forest.
There's a weird
These trees
Jaeger-
are too dense. I can't
Weird
get in there.
Jägermeister elk with the clitoris face and two hands.
Hey, it just goes back to how we want our space from things.
It's true.
We need our space between trees, from people, for everything.
Yeah.
Well, one of the things I was waiting for is when they get up to what is that cabin pathway and they found the water and they started drinking it.
Oh,
If
and
when
the
they start-
dirt.
And when if they started looking up and they realized, fuck, we're downhill from the outhouse.
Yeah.
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 Let's drink some of this muddy water. That's not mud.
Oh, I know. I love how they're just like reactionary this whole time. And again, it focuses on the human emotions. This whole movie is about grief and, regret and all
Regrets.
that. Regrets. Regrets. And I mean, Luke had a lot. He
Yes,
was
he
a
did.
very flawed human.
And all of his friends died because of him.
Pretty much. I mean, they wouldn't have even been on the hike had Robert not died.
Luke was just selfish. Here's the thing, right? Luke was just selfish. He was selfish in not helping Robert in the beginning, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I would imagine, and like they said during the whole time that they were hiking and all that, like, well, if Robert hadn't died, we probably wouldn't have been here. We would have been
Yeah.
we would have been somewhere else that he hated, but he would have gone anyway because we would have
Yeah.
all been together and blah, 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 right? So they definitely wouldn't have done that. So yeah, it's all Luke's fault.
Mm-hmm.
And he was selfish in the fact that he finally did something and had some fight into him when he was the last one fucking
Yeah,
left.
it took everybody else dying.
That son of a bitch.
And he even says that when Dom comes back after getting his ass handed to him by the hillbillies, right? And they bring him back before they sacrifice him. He's like, Luke is like, I can't lose you all. I can't have lost you all.
Well, fuck you, Luke.
Like,
This is your fault.
Luke, maybe you wouldn't have if you would have done something about it.
I don't know though. So I do go back to it was Dom's choice, and he was the one that kept pushing to go these stupid paths, even when they.
Dom is the annoying friend. Yes,
Yes.
Dom is very
Yeah, but
annoying.
Dom was literally the one that was like before they even entered the forest. He was like,
I know,
if you
and-
found a shorter way, then let's go.
Like you said, Saul, about the meniscus, that one's not the best with directions.
Yes.
So you're not going to let him be the navigator.
No.
And he was not the navigator for a reason.
Yeah, but then he was the one that decided let's go on the
Yes.
path, and they're like, but no, northeast is this way, and that's
So,
where we got to head to the cabin
Kids,
or whatever.
if you know directions not your thing,
Yeah, don't listen to the person that's not good at directions.
I'm not going to be out in these woods being
Why
like, yeah,
is it?
I know where I'm
why
going.
is it that? Why? Because we've all known that one fucking person. Like, no, it's this way. Like, why are you telling us where to go? You are the worst at directions.
Yes.
We all know you're terrible.
Yes.
Why do you keep insist on saying like, no, it's this way. It's this
And
way.
see, if Hutch and Luke could have just learned to feel their feelings and use the words like big kids, they could have told Dom,
Yes.
no, Dom, you're not good with
So
directions.
if there's a horror PSA, don't let the person that's always wrong just always say stuff that's wrong when you're talking about
Tell them they're
directions
wrong.
or shit. Be like, no, you are wrong yet again, sir.
you.
Take them aside and be like, honey,
Your track
sweetie,
record isn't the best, and we're not listening to you.
You're not good at directions, and that's okay. You're really good at a lot of other things, and
But
that's
not
all
directions.
right.
Not walking though, fucking
No.
Dom, because you're meniscus.
Well, you've hurt your meniscus before, apparently, so you know it's fucked up.
My meniscus hurts. Let's cut through this forest instead. Instead of these soft rolling hills where sheep just hang out all fucking day.
And it cracked me up, like Hutch and Luke, because they do keep going off to the side. And after he hurts himself, like Hutch says, he's like, it's not nearly as bad as he's gonna make it sound, but he's not gonna stop him from bitching about it. Like, no, you tell those friends.
They know who Dom is. See?
Yes,
They
like,
know who Dom is, but
you
they don't
need to
put a
tell
stop to
those
it.
people. Yes, put a stop to that. You need to start using
Don't be
your
that
words,
guy.
humans.
Well, the thing that did crack me up with Don, though, is what, at one point when they're going along, he's like, I need a break. And they're like, oh, we need to keep moving. He's like, no, I'm in agony. I'm beyond the point of pain.
It's like,
They're
bitch,
like,
no,
yeah.
you're not.
He's like, you need to fucking suck it up. He's like,
You
wanna
can
get the fuck out
talk.
of- Yes.
If you can talk,
Yeah.
you're not beyond agony.
Yeah.
Like, bitches can be having contractions and still talking. Like, you're fine. You're fine, Dom. Get your ass up.
Suck it up,
All
Dom.
right.
I would have left his ass. I'd be like, fuck it. We know where you are, but you won't know where we are.
I know, like that's what I'm saying. If I was ever, I've never been friends specifically with a dom who's just like whines about stuff and wants to go the wrong directions. But if I was, I wouldn't have been the one that's like, yeah, I'm gonna follow you. I'd have been like, no, Dom, you're walking that way by yourself. We're going this way, fuckface.
We're headed northeast, bitch.
You want to follow us? Follow us. You want to go on your own way? Bye bye. All right.
Like, there's more of us than you, and we're going to go this way.
You're a grown up. Be free. Right?
You do you, Dom. Taking me down with you.
You do you in the wrong ass way, Dom. Okay? You go the wrong way.
See,
Let
that's
me
what
know.
you just gotta say nowadays.
Yes.
Like, fuck you. Yeah, do what you do.
Ain't following nobody.
What happens on you is on you.
Yes.
I really like the flashlight transition towards the end, to where it was he was having Luke was having one of those like dream flashback forest is the store kind of thing, and there was someone was coming up to him with a flashlight, and then the flashlight just drops in the dream, and then it opens up and like the flashlight there, and I'm like, that was a great transition.
Yeah, see, I really liked the transitions because they played with reality so much. When they were in the cabin that first night, and Luke's dream just starts because like it looks like the lightning freezes. And then he opens the door and it goes out to the store.
Yeah, the lightning freeze thing. I was like, oh, that's pretty cool.
That was cool.
I did like that.
Yeah, because I at first was like, okay, did it just become day all of a sudden and then like lost time or something?
Yeah, I had that feeling from the newer Blair Witch. How they kind of just played with time
but
like
then when
that.
he opens it and it's the scene, I was like, fuck, that's good.
Yeah, and I was like, no, don't go in there. Just close the door.
Right?
Just go back to bed, man. Just fucking.
This ain't
Like,
for
I know
me.
what's in there.
Oh,
I'm not
excuse
going
me.
in.
Yeah, this isn't happening right
Wrong
now.
door.
Nope. Not gonna fall for this one.
And see, kids, if you just would have gone to therapy and felt your feelings and moved through your trauma, things could have been better.
Don't
Your
be a
friends wouldn't have
bitch
died.
and let your friend die while
Throw
you do
the
nothing.
bottle.
Throw the shit.
bottle, Luke.
Throw the shit that you just shit your pants with, Luke.
Like, I get it. You didn't have a lot of weapons, but he did, and he even had it. Like, he flips the bottle around so he can like hold it to chuck it or to like hit somebody with it, right? Like,
No, you do the fucking Happy Gilmore and you smash that on the fucking counter, and then like I'm gonna come at you with this broken beer bottle thing. Like,
yes.
fuck it, man.
I don't know.
Yeah,
I'm crazy though. I've always expected somebody to come at me. So maybe Luke just didn't have the kind of life where people were going to come at him. So he didn't know what to do.
Luke was pampered and privileged, is what you're saying. He just didn't know. He didn't think that there would be anything wrong ever happening in life.
Yes. So
would
he
have
was
to be
just like, if I
prepared.
crouch down, it'll be fine.
Oh,
See,
Well,
no,
they don't
us
have-
Americans are just ready to fight at all points in time.
Like, they don't have a gun. They can't do anything.
We are forever in fight or flight mode because we know people are crazy.
yes.
It's, you know what it is? It's the movies we watch. This
Yes.
is why we watch all these fucking movies. I'm like, I'm gonna fucking zombies came. Come on, bring
I
it.
know what I'm going to do. I'm going to go here, get my ammo, got to go over here. Yep, we're crazy.
See, that's why you won't get me out in the woods.
It's fair. But that was the ritual from
Until our corporate
2017. The Jägermeister monster ate them
The
all
Jägermeister
except for
clitoris.
Luke.
And thank you again to a good friend of mine, Daniel, for recommending this movie, which was another good, nice surprise of movie to watch.
Yes, it gave us
The
Nordic
first time you saw it?
Yeah.
Nordic hillbillies.
The last two,
It was pagan hillbillies is what I said.
Norgan pagan
Norgan?
hillbillies. Norgan pagan hillbillies.
Nordic pagan is Norgan.
Nordic? That's what happens when you speak that language.
See, they're speaking English. It's just the accent you don't
It is,
understand.
yes.
Yes.
Yeah, it's the like we said with Andre
Swedish chef.
Overedal.
No, yes.
It's the weird the umlauts and the circle slashes
And the
all.
pork.
What are the
yes.
fucking okay? I can't even I don't even know the words for letters in other languages.
I don't either.
No.
That are supposed to be in English.
No idea. We were not taught adequately by our
We were not. Yes,
education
Yes.
system.
we learned bastard English. Apparently, American
Yes.
is just bastardized
It
version of
is.
like 3 different bastardized versions of English.
Yep. It's the lazy version of English.
Kim, I want to know how many words there are for taint. Just Google how many words. I don't mean like in how many languages are there a word for taint. That's what I want to know.
You find a thesaurus?
I don't want to know synonyms for the word taint.
Like a
That's
world,
not what I meant.
A world thesaurus of what?
Because I'm good with the gooch, the bridge, the taint, and the perineum. The perineum is actually the medical term for it, in case you didn't know that.
We used to call it the chode.
The chode.
Chode.
See? There's
Chode.
like, so like, yeah, I don't want to know
And
how
then
many.
we started calling somebody the chode.
See, I've always known it
You're
as
a
the
horrible
gooch.
bully. Lou. Well, you and your gooch know each other as well as you want, but
Yes.
I'm saying, how many languages have a word for taint?
Probably all of them. Like
You
you,
know what?
said,
Just
if
go
you
to-
have something wrong with it, you have to know how to
just
say
go
it.
Just go to Google Translate, and I want to know what like the French word for
I think
taint
it's
is.
funny that you want to know like how many words. I want to know, like I want to talk to a doctor and be like, what's the weirdest thing that somebody has said about
What's
theirs?
the weirdest taint related injury?
Or like what's
what's
the
the
name
weirdest-
that mostly gets used when people have something
Oh,
wrong with
that's
it?
what you
Yeah,
mean.
there you
Like,
go.
Yeah.
like what do they say? Like what do
Yeah.
they call it? Like
Like, what do they come into your office and like have a look at my taint? Like that's what I want to know.
get a,
Okay, here we go.
oh, wait, push the button.
Solier,
So make her talk.
solier.
Soulier. My soulier is on fire. My soulier burns
You
with
boosted
desire.
my solier.
My soulier burns with desire.
Ew.
Look it up in Spanish. I want to know what it's called.
I hope nobody's taint burns with desire.
Well, it might
What
have.
is
It
it?
might burn.
I can't hear
An overacted tank.
It's burn. It's burning after the desire.
I think I like the Spanish version the best.
What is it?
Mancha.
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 My mancha. Oy, my mancha.
Oy, mi mancha.
Well, before we get into any more words about there any other languages about taint, maybe we should look up the Swedish one.
no,
Look up
Pappy.
Swedish one because that was
Swedish
this.
word.
I'm gonna
They were
start
in
calling people
Sweden,
that in
right?
Spanish now. I'm like, you
You
damn
mancha.
mancha.
You mancha. Soulier. It's Morca Bork.
Call your sister a solier.
Soulier.
See what she says? Does she know French?
No. Those are just sounds. That's not a word.
Yeah.
Your scam flack?
Well, I don't even think they pronounced the S. I think it was just cumflack.
Your cumfuck?
Your cumflack. Oh, scamflack.
Scamfick.
Yeah, see, those are just sounds.
My
That's
poor
not a word.
scamfick.
I'm convinced that those are just sounds. That's not a
Welcome
word.
to International Taint Talk.
That was the ritual from 2017. Next week, we don't know what are we.
We need a
going over?
suggestion.
We do need a suggestion. It's
Wait,
our
do we
last
need one more?
suggestion.
Yeah, we need one more
We
suggestion.
need one more.
So if you have a suggestion, you can email us at podcast@scarynerd.com. You can check us out on all the social medias. You can support us on Patreon by going to patreon.com/scarynerd. And we'll be back next week. We will see you then.
Bye, everyone.
Bye-bye.
Soulier.
And call someone a mancha.